Do you think you'd be a very good employee right now?
Oh no, I'd be a horrible employee right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
I'd be terrible.
I'd be a horrible employee.
Yeah, there's no way I could
not
do
only
it.
am I too old, but I've run things for too long, by myself, and somebody telling me, Mark, let's do it. We do it this way here.
Yeah.
I don't think that would go over too well with me.
I'm the same way. I'd be ruined. So you've been doing this for 35 years. Yeah. Has there been anything similar to AI that has been introduced into the legal field that's anything even remotely close to that?
The internet and the way you could research things changed dramatically. Even when, when I was in law school and then, first as a lawyer and there were still books, but remember Westlaw was really slow and things were really, really slow and hard. The ease of getting information was maybe the internet revolution, but I have never been so excited and also worried about something as AI.
Yeah.
And even though I'm towards the tail end of my career, I'm obviously worried about my kids, and I'm worried about the people that work for me now. If who they work for in the future, it is a little scary, and it is scary how what's that thing? Google Notebook where you can
Notebook LM.
Notebook LM. Yeah. So I was working on one of my PI cases for a mediation brief, and I put in my client's deposition, and I'm listening to a 20-minute podcast on all the good things, bad things about this deposition, and it was creepy as can be. It was insightful, but it was listening to a podcast where, unless you told me this is an AI-generated podcast, if I was driving in my car, I would think it's just two people talking about this case I was working on.
I like using it to prepare for mediations.
Yeah.
Where it gives me, it'll find things in medical records that I didn't notice, or it will interpret it in a way that's really beneficial.
Right.
Then I'm like, oh, or it'll say the defense is going to really hammer on this thing. I'm like, oh, I didn't see it from that perspective. That's fascinating.
No, it is. I actually used it on the habeas petition I filed. Because it said, well, maybe there's this, but Mark's client has this going on. I'm like, you know what? Like the scarecrow from, I'm like, oh, what?
Yeah.
You know what? Light bulb went off. I go, that's a good point. Maybe I should overemphasize that. Really, that I didn't really pick up on that. Mm-hmm. It was in my habeas petition anyway. So I think that's exciting.
Have you tried it where you can talk with it?
No, I haven't done. You can talk back.
You
to
can
it,
talk, and it'll talk with you and stuff.
Haven't got. Maybe I'll try that one after I leave.
That part's really interesting. Early on, I used ChatGPT whenever the voice mode was first introduced to be like a hot bench for the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals. I felt that was really beneficial.
Yeah.
So it's way more advanced than what it was.
No, it's crazy. It's I can't even imagine a year from now.
Yeah.
So the answer to the question is nothing as daunting as AI has come around. It's only been improvements. Now we're talking about existential issues for the law. We'll always have a law practice. People always need to have personal interaction, but how is it going to change it?
I've had my fears, and I've talked about it on the show before. My prediction, there's going to be a pretty big contraction. It's not going to replace the legal field, but you're going to see a pretty big contraction over the next 5 years or so. But do you
think in all areas of law or just?
I think probably in all areas to a certain extent. But the big ones are going to be the ones that are very transactional.
Sure.
Those are going to be the ones that are going to have a fence around them are going to be the litigation types, because you can't have AI in court. It's just not going to happen.
Correct.
So that part's worried me, but it really didn't. I wasn't super concerned until a few weeks ago. I started to see these massive layoffs happening in some of these law firms.
It was a big law. Wasn't it a big law firm like 1,000 people?
Yeah. And I'm like, wondering, is this the beginning of this? I don't know. I really don't know.
And will clients continue to pay hourly rates for younger associates to do all this work? That's how we learn.
Right.
If they know, well, wait a minute, Google Notebook can do all this.
Right.
Well, why am I paying anyway? So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and there's that's even with there's rates increasing for lawyers, which I found interesting.
Yeah.
And that part's interesting. Do you think after 9/11 that there was any similar comparisons where there was just the unknown?
You mean as far as the law?
The law, because in the world in general, to me, that was whenever I was first starting college. So that's whenever that happened. So for me, it was kind of what's the world? How's it going to change?
9/11, obviously the event was shocking. I was actually supposed to go to a court hearing that day when it happened. Wow. And I woke up to my old-fashioned clock radio with news station, the World Trade Center. But not only was that day shocking, but I don't know if you remember, like the several months after, anthrax and what's going on.
Yes,
remember all this?
Yes.
So that was, everyone was on ease. Now, not on the level of COVID level, because it still seemed a little far away, but like, what's going to happen?
Right.
Nothing compared in my practice to the disruption caused by, obviously, COVID was the top thing of.
That's, to me, felt like a pause button had been pressed.
Looking back.
Yeah.
The first year, though, was pretty tough.
That's very true.
I mean, I know it's sometimes I have to think, I go, did we really do all this?